All right, if you're a project professional, you already know the PMP is pretty much the global gold standard for certification. But here's the thing. To stay the gold standard, it has to evolve. And that's exactly what's happening. In this explainer, we're going to break down everything you need to know to earn your PMP, with a real sharp focus on the major exam updates coming in 2026. So let's get started on your path to PMP success.
First things first, why does this certification get so much attention? Let's just start with a number. 33%. According to the Project Management Institute's Earning Power Report, that is the average salary premium PMP holders in the US earn over their non-certified peers. Yeah, 33%. That's a powerful number that really shows how much organizations value this credential.
So to make sure you have a really clear path forward, we've structured this guide into 4 essential parts. First, we'll cover the basics. What even is the PMP? Then, we'll help you figure out if it's the right move for you. After that, we are going to deconstruct the new 2026 exam, piece by piece. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with an actionable study roadmap you can actually use.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning to get everyone on the same page. Section 1, what exactly is the PMP certification?
So the PMP is offered by the Project Management Institute, you'll hear it called PMI, and it's all about validating your ability to manage the big 3 constraints of any project. You've got the people, the processes, and the business priorities. The really crucial thing here is that it's not tied to any one industry. It proves your leadership skills whether you're using old-school predictive approaches, newer agile methods, or more likely some kind of hybrid of the two.
The return on investment for getting the PMP? It's pretty significant. You know, beyond that salary boost we talked about, it really does open doors to leadership roles. It gives you the mobility to work pretty much anywhere in the world, and it provides a lot more job security. And it's important to remember, this isn't just about you. Companies actively hunt for PMP holders because they bring standardized practices that just plain lead to better project outcomes, which means fewer delays and less money wasted.
Now that we know what the PMP is and the value it brings to the table, let's move on to Section 2 and figure out if it's actually the right certification for you. So PMI has 2 very clear pathways to get eligible, and they both really hinge on one thing: real-world experience. If you've got a 4-year degree, you're going to need 36 months. That's 3 full years of experience leading projects. If you have a secondary degree, say a high school diploma or an associate's, you'll need 60 months, which is 5 years. Now, both of those paths also require you to get 35 hours of formal project management education, which you can get from any authorized training provider. And this quote from PMI itself really gets to the heart of those requirements. The PMP is not a starting point, It's not for beginners. It's designed to formally recognize the expertise of people who are already seasoned project leaders. It's a credential that validates the experience you already have, which is why that application process can feel so tough. All right, now for the part I'm sure you've been waiting for. Section 3, let's deconstruct the 2026 exam. Starting in July of 2026, the PMP exam is changing. A lot. Let's break down exactly what's new.
So the 2026 exam is getting a major rebalancing of its 3 main domains. The weight for the people and process domains is actually going down, but the huge story here, the real headline, is the business environment domain. It is jumping from just 8% of the exam all the way up to 26%. That's a massive shift. The takeaway here is that PMI expects future project leaders to be way more strategically minded.
I mean, just look at this shift. It is, without a doubt, the single most important change. What it means is the exam is now going to heavily test your ability to connect project decisions to the bigger picture, to organizational strategy, governance, compliance, and delivering value. It's no longer enough to just manage the project. You absolutely have to understand why the project matters to the business as a whole.
And to test these deeper strategic skills, the exam itself is becoming more dynamic, more challenging. We're moving way beyond simple multiple-choice questions. You need to get ready for new interactive formats, like multi-question case studies that test your end-to-end thinking, better drag-and-drop questions for sequencing, and these complex, judgment-based scenarios that really don't have a simple textbook answer. So here's a perfect example of what a new graphic interpretation question might look like. You'll be asked to analyze some kind of visual data, like a chart, a dashboard, maybe a risk curve, and then make a sound decision based on it. This whole format is designed to test your real-world analytical skills and your data literacy. It's about proving you can apply knowledge, not just memorize a bunch of facts.
Okay, so with all that in mind, let's move into our final section and lay out a practical, no-nonsense plan.
Your PMP Study Roadmap.
Look, studying for this can feel overwhelming, so the best way to tackle it is to break it down into 4 distinct phases over, say, a typical 12-week period. First up is Phase 1, Foundations. Then you move into Phase 2, Domain Deep Dives. After that comes the really crucial Phase 3, Integration and Mock Exams. And then you'll wrap it all up with Phase 4, the Final Review.
And here's what that actually looks like in practice. In your first 3 weeks, you're just focused on getting that 35-hour course done and starting your application. Don't put that off. Weeks 4 through 8 are for deep study of the people, process, and especially that new, beefed-up business environment domain. Then comes the most critical phase. Weeks 9 to 11 are all about taking full-length mock exams. And don't just take them. You have to analyze every single right and wrong answer to find and fix your weak spots. Finally, that last week is for a light review and, just as important, for rest. Don't cram.
So, there you have it. That's a complete guide to understanding, preparing for, and ultimately passing the 2026 PMP exam. You know what it is, who it's for, how the exam is changing, and now you have a clear, actionable plan. The only question left is, are you ready to take on what might be the most important project of your year?